Yes, sir. We are back. Top of 2021, and we going crazy. All fucking ready.
Keep your gaze, with your flow. Can't fuck with this top dog shit though. Keep your gaze, with your flow.
Yeah.
Can't fuck with this top dog shit though. Keep your gaze, with your flow. Can't fuck with this top dog shit though. Keep your gaze, with your flow.
Classic shit, terrorist threats, boy.
Wish I could see how the Selassie. Maybe my sovereignty will still be mine.
If all the gangs in the world unify, we stand a chance against the military tonight. I said we stand a chance against the military tonight.
I said we stand a chance against the military tonight.
Babylon, Babylon.
Hey.
Out my window, all I see is Babylon.
Hey.
On the news, all I see is Babylon. And all niggas do is just Babylon.
This shit so hard.
More money and hoes. If I sold dope, I'd have plenty of flows. I was from the projects like J-Rock. I would've more than likely slang rocks.
Pimps and thuns. That's the name of you. But then what the fuck I've been through? I heard they wildin' for it. I heard they been wildin' for it. Oh, I'm so sad I had to turn that off. What's up, folk? It is your one and only favorite Wody, Jacka Jack. Just another nigga with no bitches and an opinion, and I've been wildin' for respect. Let me drop myself a little bit. There we go. What the fuck is up, folk? And welcome to the podcast. Man, oh man, oh man. First, let me just say, please, if you do, if you shall, if you must, listen. 1, like. 2, subscribe. 3, share. 4, I don't know, tell your mama, tell your pops, tell your uncle. I got a homie, got a podcast called Wylin for Respect. The shit low-key hard. And you know what? I'm going to get right into it. God damn it, I turned on the news today and white people are wilding for respect. I mean the absolute utmost. The absolute utmost. The craziest shit I've ever seen. This is the first podcast of 2021. What's today? The 6th? What's today? The 6th? Today is the 6th. We are 6 days into the new year. Washington, D.C. is feeling it right now. The Capitol building has fucking been overthrown. Let me just say this one more time for the motherfuckers in China and the motherfuckers in Spain and a few of the motherfuckers over there in goddamn Luxembourg or some shit like that is looking at the news like, what in the fuck is going on over there in America? The Capitol building is being overthrown. That's what the fuck is going on. And it's the wildest shit. It's the wildest shit ever, man. But I look at it. I look at that shit and I think to myself, you low-key have no choice but to respect the fuck out of white people. They know no bounds. For history, years, centuries, no bounds. That is why they have left their stamp on the world. Because the motherfuckers don't give a shit. It's either get down or lay down. Get down or lay down. You can't, hey. Honestly, me and the homies was talking about it today in the group chat. Like, low key, I'm slick jealous. I wish black people were like that. Now, granted, when we protest and shit does get a little rowdy. Shit actually does get a little extreme, but it's always been extreme. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, we should just be like, fuck it. Why not die for it? We might as well. Like, what's the other alternative? You know, now I get it. Who really wants to die? Nobody really wants to die. Nobody really wants to die. But when you look on the news and you see white folk acting the way they acting, you can't help but think, well, shit. Maybe it's us that's really tripping. Maybe we've been going about this shit wrong the whole entire time. We should really be wildin'. Why the fuck are we not wildin'? Again, this is America. So white people do get the benefit of the doubt. There is a little extra, you know, on the leash. So I can kind of understand maybe why their mindset is so invincible or just so I don't give a fuck. Well, because not a whole lot of shit really be happening to them. But again, you still can't help but respect it. You can't help but fucking respect it. Motherfuckers in there taking selfies. Some of the coolest pictures I've seen too, also. Like, some of them pictures are hard as fuck. Them shits are hard. Hard as fuck, bro. And you know what? I can appreciate living in history too. I love that shit. I love when I can, like, recognize that, like, oh, this is a moment. And I get to see it. Like, till this day, I can't stand the New York Giants. Because they robbed me of being able to say, hey, in my lifetime, I seen an NFL team go undefeated. I think the last time it happened, I think it was like in the 70s with like the Dolphins or some shit like that, I believe. I was going to be able to see it. Tom Brady, Randy Moss was going crazy. We all know. And then a fucking shitty ass little 9-7, 8-8 New York Giants fucking catch fire going into the playoffs, and they ruined history. You know what I'm saying? They robbed me of that shit. So I say that to say, for the people that's like in DC, I can see how like this would be like a cool story. You know what I'm saying? Looking back 5 years, looking back 10 years, like, damn, y'all remember that time we fucking went to DC and took that bitch over? That's low-key hard as fuck. I ain't even gonna front. Like, to be able to tell that story, that's low-key some ill-ass shit. So I'm slick hating. But again, I'm also sad at the fact that, you know, I'm not too sure that anyone else in this country outside of white folk would get the luxury to really go that fucking hard. I don't know. I don't know if that's happening. But yeah, to look at that shit is crazy. It almost makes me think, like, is America, is it over for us? Low key. For a long time, we've been for sure top dogs in this world. We coming through, you know what I'm saying? Broadway bully. Get the fuck out the way. We're not giving a single fuck about anything. We coming through. We taking what we want. They're going to abide by what we say. We're going to influence the whole fucking market of the world. And that's just what's going to be. We America. Fuck you mean? Pussy. And I'm going to rep that shit till I die. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to rep that shit till I die. Big America, boy. For real. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We very well might be slipping. Could the shit that's been going on this past year and how we're starting right now? Who knows? We clearly weren't ready for anything. We clearly weren't ready for anything. Like, let's really think about it, you know? We look back on 2020. We got our one little stimulus check and this and that shit. You know, we shut down everything. Blase, blase, you know. That was about it. Motherfuckers done lost houses. Motherfuckers done lost jobs. Motherfuckers done lost businesses. And we done lost mad lives, you know. And granted, there's hella pockets. There's hella pockets in the world that is literally going through the exact same thing that we're going through right now and worse. The unfortunate issue is we are branded as America. We are branded as the greatest country on God's beautiful green earth, or blue earth, actually, I guess. And when shit hit the fan, it didn't necessarily look like we were, but the American dream is also just that. The American dream. And a good majority of us are not living that shit. So, you know, maybe everything happened just the way it is, but yeah, man. To see that shit in the Capitol, that's some real ill shit, you know what I'm saying? Some real ill shit. But all right. Let's see. What else do I want to get into? Because this is going to be a short one. I didn't prepare at all. Honestly, I didn't even plan on doing a podcast this week. But when I woke up and seen this shit this morning, I was like, oh my God. I got to speak on this a little bit. Honestly, I should plug in another motherfucking mic or something. I live in all of my fucking roommates are white people. I should figure out how the fuck they feel about this. Like, what do they think about this shit? Because it's pretty wild. Pretty fucking wild. But let's see, what else do I want to get into? This is kind of like a little personal switch, but it was a relief. It was a real relief. Let me tell y'all this. It was a real relief. So today was my Uncle Bobby's birthday. And honestly, I'm not sure the date. It was sometime last year. I think it was around April or May. I believe it was in April that my uncle passed away. You know, and I can remember when my pops told me, and I was just like, damn, like, I think he had told me he was sick. Maybe a few days prior, a week prior, some shit like that things was just looking a little rough, you know what I'm saying? I think he had like a collapsed lung or something. I honestly forgot, but I can remember my pops telling me that, and you know, and then when he told me that he passed, I'm just like, damn, you know, like, that sucks. But I'll be honest with you, in that moment, I really didn't I ain't really feel too much. For real, you know, I ain't really feel too much. And this was an uncle that was in my life my whole entire upbringing. You know what I'm saying? My whole entire upbringing, I always seen Uncle Bobby. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was just we pull up on him randomly, we go down to fucking Goodview and shit like that just to go see him and my Aunt Lisa and my cousin Robbie or shit, or any holiday, I always gonna see my Uncle Bobby. You know what I'm saying? Only light-skinned nigga in the family. Matter of fact, was Uncle Bobby mixed? Nah, he wasn't mixed with white. He just hella light-skinned. So again, you know, my pops told me that shit, and I can remember again just not really feeling much, you know, just like damn. But I do remember just kind of like, you know, hitting up my cousin Robbie and shit. I was really feeling for him more so, but I was feeling for him in the thought of like, damn, how would I react? You know, how would I feel about that? because I was just talking to my Uncle Wee on my mom's side. I was just talking to him the other day because I had to use his AAA, so he drove up to L.A. He drove up to L.A. and shit so I could get my car towed and shit like that, you know. And me and him were talking, and I forgot how we got on the subject of like death and shit like that. I think maybe we was outside of the apartment, and I think we seen a Kobe mural because he was talking about, like, you know, he was saying how he was like, you know, death is something that I can compartmentalize relatively well, you know. And he was saying how, you know, it's not necessarily something that really shakes me up. Like, yeah, for sure, you know, it sucks, you know, but he was like, you know, I feel like, you know, when mom and pop passed, you know, my grandparents, like, yeah, for sure, it's gonna be super sad, but he was like, you know, I feel like I'll be okay, you know, because it's life, you know what I'm saying? People die, it's just life. It is what it is, you know. But he was talking about how, like, with Kobe, like, that shit, he was like damn, like, obviously I didn't know dude whatsoever, but like it really kind of shook him up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? The Kobe passing, especially with, you know, his daughter Gianna being with him, and also the other souls, you know. Rest in peace, all of them, for real, especially the other family, because I remember someone saying this sometime last year, and I felt them then, but at the same time, I was like, but it also comes with it. Like, unfortunately, you passed away with one of the greatest basketball players ever, one of the greatest people ever, you know what I'm saying, along with their daughter. Like, such a tragic tandem, and y'all just so happen to be along the line, so every time their name gets brought up, we don't necessarily think of the others. But I can't necessarily say we'll always I don't even remember necessarily their names now, but I just know that for me, moving forward, anytime I speak on the passing of Kobe and this and that, I want to at least acknowledge the other family members too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, damn, a lot of lives were changed that day, and yeah, it does kind of suck that we just act as if they weren't even there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just Kobe and Gianna. Like, yeah, they get the murals and stuff like that, but we should at least, you know, shout their names out also, or just at least acknowledge that they're no longer with us either. But anyways, I was telling my uncle, you know, like, I was like, yeah, man, like, you know, if my pops passed right now, I don't know what I would do. I was like, somebody would really have to, you know what I'm saying? Somebody would really have to be checking on me 24/7, because I don't know. I don't know how I would manage. I just don't know. And I was telling my uncle, I was telling my Uncle Wee, I was like, you know, and it's not even so much, I was like, honestly, it's selfish, really, of why I would be so sad. It's not even so much of the fact of, like, how much I would miss my pops and all this and that, you know what I'm saying? Because I think and this is what I'm getting to. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know I tell these long fucking winded stories, but y'all know I'm gonna wrap it around. So, because I was, you know, I'm telling my fucking uncle, you know, like, I would be really, really sad because, you know, again, not so much of I don't think of the fact of, like, missing my pops and shit. And don't get me wrong, I miss my pops all the time, even now, you know what I'm saying? But I've been gone for 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, I graduated high school June of 2010, and when September came, I hit the road, Jack. I hit the road. And I've been gone ever since. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy over the past 10 years, the amount of, like, the times that I've seen my people and shit like that. It's just not even, it's wild in comparison to how much I seen my family growing up, you know? So I say that to say I've gotten used to the distance. You know what I'm saying? And me and my pops, we, that's my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But we still only talk maybe once every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. Sometimes me and my pops, it feel like we go forever without talking. Like sometimes we go so long without talking that when we do finally get on the phone, like we have to low key like apologize to each other. Of like, damn, like my fault. I was just thinking about you like last week, 2 weeks ago. I should have been picked up the phone, this and that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it just be what it is. But I was telling my uncle though, like what would really kill me is I need you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at a stage in my life where I still feel like I need answers to shit. And I'm gonna be turning 30 this summer. I'm gonna be turning 30 in fucking in July. And which is crazy. That's crazy as fuck to say out loud. I'm gonna be turning 30 in July. That is fucking insane. God, that is insane. I got to get my life together. I'm gonna be turning 30 and I live in a room. I live in a house with 4 people. Like what the fuck? I'm broke. But anyways. But that's really how what would upset me. Like damn, like you know what I'm saying? I got to figure this shit out. Like I ain't had no kid yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't had no kids. Like I'm gonna need questions and answers on that. And I was telling my uncle like, because my pops is the only person I really trust. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I have no problem going to people for advice if I feel I need to get some advice. Like my mama, that's my OG. You know what I'm saying? Like she really my OG. Like I can go to my mom about anything and I really respect her opinion. I really value it. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always like that, obviously. If y'all have listened to podcasts before and this and that, y'all know the relationship that me and my mom didn't have growing up because it just wasn't there. So that's the wild thing. Over this past 10 years, I've gotten further away from my immediate family in VA, but I'm very thankful that over the past 10 years, me and my mom's relationship has fucking, you know what I'm saying, really, really, really locked in that motherfucker. Like, that's my nigga, for real. But, and I thought about it later when I was talking to I thought about it later after I was talking to my uncle, like, I need other people for advice. I need my father for reassurance. That's what I need my pops for. Like, yeah, I'll go to him for advice and this and that shit, but honestly, 7 times out of 10, I'll probably go to my mom first, actually, before I go to my pops. I go to my mom first for a lot of things. If I need help with some money or something like that, or whether it's lady advice or maybe like professional advice or something like, I'll go to my mom's for that shit, and she gonna keep a nigga locked in. But I go to my pops for reassurance, like, cause he really know me. You know what I'm saying? He really, really know me. He really, really know me. I really, really know him. And to not be able to call him, at a point, and for him to not be able to get him to be like, hey, you gonna be all right, bro. Like, you gotta relax out here. You tripping. You gonna be all right. Like, think about the shit you done been through in life. You know what I'm saying? Think about the things you'd have been through a lot, and you still here. So just keep rolling. You got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and especially last year, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's part of the reason why I didn't necessarily feel too much in that moment when he was telling me that my uncle passed, because I was just going through so much shit with me. Like, me and Kobe broke up, so that shit had me all fucked up. Like, literally, that's the only thing that was on my mind all of fucking 2020. And we're in this like, it was just so much, man, that, like, it just, I compartmentalized it and just kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? Um, so when I thought about that, you know, I thought about my cousin, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I wonder how he feels about that shit, you know? And so over the holidays, you know, we're doing our Zoom meetings and this and that, you know, and in the back of my mind, you know, I'm like, yeah, for sure, like Uncle Bobby passed, you know what I'm saying? And nobody brought it up or anything like that, you know? And maybe that's because back home, it happened not so long ago, but a while ago. So people, you know, they have to have their closure, you know what I'm saying? And go to the funeral and blase and whatever. But today was, like I stated before, today was my uncle's birthday. So my aunt, you know, she dropped it in the group chat and this and that shit, you know, like his favorite things, you know, Pepsi. And I can always remember, you know, my Uncle Bobby, like, and my dad, like, laughing about it. Because, like, my Uncle Bobby, he was always saying, like, his favorite thing about Pepsi was just how that shit just burned his damn throat. He had cracked that joker open and just chug it. So he just loved to burn. He loved the burn of the initial sip of a motherfucking Pepsi. He loved the burn of it, you know. And but my sister had posted a picture. My sister had posted a picture of him today. You know, just saying a happy birthday and this and that. It was him. It was her, my niece, and my Uncle Bobby. You know, and I'm looking at it, and I'm at the VA office. I'm at the VA office, you know, and I'm looking at it and whatnot. And I just, like, as I'm looking at it, I can kind of feel, like, you know, emotion for, like, you know, I can just feel emotion in my body. You know what I'm saying? I can just feel it in my body. And but I also knew I'm about to go in here and do these labs. You know, I'm about to get some blood work and piss tests and all this and that shit. You know what I'm saying? But when I got out, when I got out and got back into the car, you know, and maybe it was the music also. Like, this morning I've been playing, like, all morning I was playing Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. And it came from the one dude. The dude that's been doing the fucking Spot 'em Got 'em challenge, that started the little Spot 'em Got 'em challenge. Well, when I first seen him, I was like, yo, that nigga look mad familiar. He looked mad familiar. So then like, I seen his, like, IG story, and he was talking about, like, challenges and shit that he's been involved in. And then when the Optimistic one came on, I was like, I knew that was him. I knew that was the same dude. So when I seen that video, it just made me want to play Optimistic this morning. So I don't know if it was, like, just like that song, and also as I was looking at the picture. But long story short is, I got in the car and, you know, I just started crying a little bit. Now, nothing crazy, but just, you know, my eyes was just watery and this and that shit. You know, tears was dropping. So, you know, clean up a young nigga face and this and that. But in that moment, it was such a fucking relief, though. Because for a moment, for a second, I thought I might be like a sociopath or some weird shit like that, you know? Like, damn, here goes, you know, somebody that was a part of my life more than they weren't a part of my life. You know what I'm saying? For 16, 18 years, I've always known Uncle Bobby. I'm talking about from jump, you know what I'm saying? Like, from when I was a kid, from when I was, like, mad little, like 2 and 3, you know, when him and my Aunt Lisa stayed in that apartment in Vinton, to when they moved to the White House in Goodview and shit. Like, he's just always been around, you know what I'm saying? So when all this, you know, happened, and I just didn't really necessarily have any emotion towards it or whatever, like I guess the appropriate emotion that I think, or that I normally have for death. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. I'm just kind of thinking like, damn, man, like what the fuck? Like, I ain't even shit. Like, it just didn't move me. It just didn't necessarily bother me that much. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I didn't. I'm not gonna say like, you know, it was just always something on my mind, but I do remember just thinking like, what the fuck, you know? So yeah, it was a relief that I think. Now, this is what I'll also say too. Seeing that picture, seeing that picture this morning, that in itself might have been the first time that I've seen Uncle Bobby in years. Just that picture might have been the first time I've seen Uncle Bobby in 2 years, I feel like. I think the last time that I seen Uncle Bobby was, let's see, I went home in 2019. I went home in 2019 for AJ's wedding. And I think when was the last time that I went home before that? Did I go home twice in 2019? Or was it 2018? It might have been 2018. I think it might have been 2018 that I actually saw, the last time I actually saw Uncle Bobby. You know what I'm saying? So this morning to see that picture, you know what, and I could tell he looked different. He looks a little skinnier. I don't know, maybe that was the closure that I needed or whatever, because I'm sure if I would have been to the funeral, that would have wrecked me. Like, I hate funerals. I could go to a stranger's funeral and you would have thought that I was a family member. I'm going to be showing my ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm crying. I'm crying. When I see other people crying off of that kind of hurt, it kills me. I can't take it. I'll cry at anybody's funeral. I'll cry if anybody cries, low key. I'm a crier. That's just the truth of the matter. I'm a crier. I'm a crier. Give me a good heartfelt movie. I'll cry. Give me some weed, a good song in the right setting. I'll cry. You know what I'm saying? If the stress has just been piled on me for months on end, eventually I'm gonna let that bitch out. I'll cry. Like, I'm a crier, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So, yeah. So I would imagine that then that probably would have been the closure or whatever that I needed and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, long story short is it felt good to just have that kind of relief of just like, all right, Don, like you do still have feelings, like you're not like, you know, because it kind of made me feel like, you know, I've how do I put this? How do I say this? Fuck it. It makes me feel like, you know what I'm saying? I got to remember that family is still family. No matter how far, no matter how separate, this and that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like at the end of the day, family should always still be family until family ain't no more. And I think motherfuckers know what I mean by that. Like, if niggas just, somebody doing you dead wrong, somebody doing you mad, grimy, family, because, you know, at the end of the day, you also don't choose your family. And everybody is everybody. Like, come on. I know plenty of people that don't like their siblings and this and that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, back to white folk. Growing up, like I said, I went to white schools. Growing up, I always thought it was kind of odd or weird or whatever that, like, when white people have like siblings but they don't have the same parent, when they actually like talk about their siblings or whatever, like they'll actually say my half sister or my half brother or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe because it's so common in the black community that, like, we be having different parents. Like, we might have 2 brothers or 2 sisters, whatever the case, but we all might have different dads or a different mom or whatever the case like that. Maybe because it's so common that we don't look at it as like whatever, like, nah, that's my blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, it ain't no half. It ain't no, it's just, that's just my brother. That's just my sister. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely vividly remember growing up and just always thinking like, damn, like, that's a cultural difference right there. That is a cultural difference right there. Like, so with that being said, I also know a lot of black people that don't necessarily fuck with their family members either. So don't get me wrong. Like, I'm just trying to put this on white people. But again, growing up, I went to white school, so I seen it a lot or heard about it a lot. The stories and this and that shit of just like how motherfuckers just don't be liking their siblings and family and shit. And again, you don't choose them. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But again, unless it's just some complete foul shit where you got to draw the line, family should always be family. And I feel like emotionally, things should react that way. You might react that way, or should. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Again, I'm just happy that I don't necessarily have to feel like a sociopath anymore. So happy birthday for sure. Happy birthday to my Uncle Bobby. And rest in peace, my Uncle Bobby. And big ups to my nigga Robbie, man. I ain't seen Robbie in a minute. I ain't spoke to Robbie in years. My nigga Red. Rob Dog. You feel me? For sure. Man, I can always remember, man, like this one time. It's probably one of the smoothest things I ever seen in my life, honestly. I will never forget. God, I will never forget this. We were all at my Aunt Kim's house. It's probably like sometime on the July 4th or some shit like that. Like, just even speaking on it right now makes me miss it. Really makes me miss it, man. Just like the normalcy of just how we used to just pull up on each other and shit like that, you know? But I'll never forget, we were all on the side of the house at my Aunt Kim's. All out on the side of the house smoking. And we can see my fucking, you know, my Aunt Lisa and my Uncle Bobby and Robbie, you know, coming down the driveway, right? So we all, like I said, we all over on the side of the house smoking. my nigga Robbie walk over to us. Rob walk over to us, the blunt in rotation. It's probably like 5 heads on that bitch. The blunt in rotation. And I can remember why, like, Rob, he ain't even break a step, my G. He right when he's about to grab the blunt, man, he looked back right quick just to make sure fucking Aunt Lisa won't spine on him, because she for damn sure would be Hawkeyeing him. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see what the fuck he doing. Man, he looked back, grabbed that blunt and hit that shit. Like, it's really one of those moments of just like me telling it doesn't sound like anything whatsoever. But it was something you really had to see, though. Like, you had to see just how smooth that shit was, man. I will never forget that. I just remember, like, yo, that was probably one of the illest things I've ever seen in my life. And you know, we're like, what? We're all still in high school, like 17, 18, some shit like that, you know. Like, it was crazy, for real. But, all right, what else do I want to speak on? I low-key thought I was losing steam since I got out of the, you know, the overthrowing of the Capitol within 11 minutes. But, hey, you know, when real shit hit. So we're going to speak on it. And that was that. So, yeah, I'm 40 minutes in, so fuck it, guys. We going to call it quits on that. 2 topics. There's not necessarily anything else I'm dying to speak on at the moment that I can remember. Because, again, I didn't plan on doing a podcast this week, but I'm glad that I did knock one out the first week of January, get the ball rolling, you know. So, without further ado, we about to get into the song of the week. And just like I told y'all, the song of the morning. So, here we are, baby.
The Blackness.
The Blackness.
The game on. Never say die. Keep on. Blackness. Keep on.
God damn. Doing all that jumping, you feel me? Peace to all my niggas worldwide, though, for real. Peace to all my niggas worldwide. Peace to all my white people worldwide. Peace to all my Spanish motherfuckers worldwide, for real. I've been fucking with the Spanish a lot lately. Just off the music, you know what I'm saying? Peace to the Asians, you know what I'm saying? I be feeling a way about y'all a little bit, though. Because I be feeling like y'all be feeling a way about us. But anyways, be optimistic. It's a shame that I'm just tired and I'm breathing this heavy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was doing hella, what they call it? Calisthenics. Hopping around up in this bitch. A little, you know, almost 30. But, woo! Woo, 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 woo. All right, y'all, I'm out. This is the Wylin for Respect podcast. This show, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Hey, if you heard this motherfucker and you thought I was wilding, I probably can see that. I can see that. I can for sure see how you came to that. You know what I'm saying? But I need you to know. Before I got to wilding, a nigga was really just wondering. I was just wondering. Decided to speak on it. All right. I'm out.